Hello students, I am Dr. Sandeep Clay going to deliver a lecture on fundamentals of banking. In that chapter, in that subject, we will discuss the structure of Indian banking system. Students, the Indian banking system comprises different kind of banks. There is a different kind of banks perform in the Indian banking system. When we discuss about the chapter first, that is evolution of banking, then we covered that is meaning, definition and origin of bank, then evolution of banking in Europe, then evolution of banking in India, then fourth one point, that is structure of Indian banking system in India. Okay, then the next one part that will be covered the functions of bank. In case of functions of bank, we will discuss about the primary functions and the secondary functions. Then the third one chapter, that is procedure of opening and operating of deposit account. Remember that students, we will go on through that type of syllabus. There is a certain syllabus. In that syllabus, the third one chapter, that is procedure of opening of deposit account, then no frill accounts, procedure of operating of deposit accounts, then the types of account holders. As usually we have already discussed these types of account holders. Then the fourth one chapter contain the data regarding methods of remittances, the drafts, demand drafts, the bankers checks, then EFT, RTGS, NEFT, and SWIFT, and as well as IMPS. These are all methods of remittances used by the customers and offered by the bankers to their customers. Okay, when we discuss about the structure of Indian banking system, first of all, remember that the apex authority for Indian banking system, this is RBI. Reserve Bank of India work as a apex authority, supreme authority for the Indian banking system, which was established in 1st April 1935, which has their headquarters at Bombay. And Reserve Bank of India perform a supreme authority for the Indian banking system. Under the kind supervision of RBI, the whole banks are basically categorized in these three categories. That is, first one commercial banks, then regional banks, and then the cooperative banks. Students, the commercial banks, which means public sector bank, for example, State Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Imperial Bank of India, or Bank of India. Okay, sorry, not only not Imperial Bank of India but also Bank of India. These banks, Punjab National Banks or Bank of Maharashtra, are called as a commercial banks. Basically, these commercial banks established for serving a society. But these banks, instead of serving a society, these banks are also a profit seeking institution. These banks are also tries to earn a profit. Is this, which means not only private sector banks but also commercial banks are also a private seeking profit seeking institutions, and they are tries to earn more and more income from the society. The commercial bank basically are categorized into two categories: public sector bank and private sector bank. Public sector bank means those banks are owned by Indian government. Partially or fully ownership is established by the government, then that bank is called as a public sector banks. And the next one part, that is private sector bank. As usually we are well known that private banks, which means those banks are owned by the private entities. The private entity may be any individual person, that may be any corporate firm, or that may be any company, that may be any joint stock company, or that may be any multinational company, or anything, or a corporation. But the ownership is owned by the private entities. Then that banks are called as a private sector banks. Okay, like HDFC, ICICI, Yes banks are called as a private sector banks. These public sector and private sector banks are offer their services to the customers. They tries to attract their customers towards them. They tries to earn the income, more and more income from the financial markets. Students, the public sector banks are also categorized into two categories. Remember that the first one category, that is State Bank of India. Prior that, the State Bank of India performed their work with their associate banks. At the time of nationalization of SBI, the government were set up 8 associate banks with the main SBI. Recently, which means in 2 3 years, the Reserve Bank of India and the government felt that to merge these associate banks into the main State Bank of India, which means right now there is only one State Bank of India in the segment of SBI. Then onwards, the next one part of public sector banks, that is nationalized banks. As usually in the last lecture, we were discussed the government made the nationalization of banks in 2 phases. The first one phase, that is in the 19 July 1969, the government made the nationalization of 14 banks. Those banks have a annual turnover more than 50 crore rupees were selected for the nationalization. When government made the nationalization of any bank, which means a government established their 100% ownership on the banks, which means whole assets, whole financial valuables, whole financial activities are owned and performed by the government authorities, which means they demolishes the ownership of private entities from the bank and establishes the ownership of government on the particular bank. That is the process of nationalization. For the betterment of society, for the betterment of below poverty line people, the government made the nationalization of the commercial banks or the private banks. Is this? And in the second phase, that is which was made in the 1980, in the 1980 the government made the nationalization of 6 banks. Those banks have a annual turnover more than 200 crore rupees, were selected for the nationalization with the same principle, with the same objective. Which means in the 19 up to 1980, there were 20 banks were worked as a nationalized banks. Till 1992, when a New India Bank were merged into Punjab National Bank, which means into 1992, due to the huge burden of NPA, non-performing assets, the new Bank of India were merged into Punjab National Banks, which means the number of banks in 1992 was 19. Then again in 2005, the government do a nationalization or give a status of other public sector bank to the IDBI, and therefore again the number of nationalized banks are become 20 in the 2005. Then when we discussed about the private sector banks, basically the private sector banks are also categorized into 2 categories: Indian banks and foreign banks. Indian banks, which means the banks are owned by Indian citizenship. It may be individual, that it may be any company, that it may be any multinational, it may be any corporation, or that it may be a joint stock company or any part of group. If these companies or these individuals have a Indian citizenship, then these banks are called as a Indian banks. And the foreign banks, next one segment, that is foreign banks. Foreign banks, which means those banks have their headquarter at their native place, native country, and they spread their banking business across the world with their branches. Which means the foreign banks are owned by foreign entity, that may be any individual, any corporation, any company, or that may be any joint stock company. Any type of group which belonging from foreign country may open their bank at any country. At the initial stage of globalization, the few foreign investors are establishes their banks. But recently, there are number of investors are increased, and they have opened their foreign banks at many countries and serve that particular countries. Basically, the Indian banks are categorized into 2 categories: old Indian banks and new Indian banks. Basically, old banks means those banks are established before the first phase of nationalization. which means if a private bank was established before the 1969, then these banks are called as a old private sector banks. And the next one type, that is new private sector bank. New private sector banks means those banks are established after the 1969 as called as a new banks. Okay, that is the basic structure of Indian banking system, which is commands by the Reserve Bank of India. Basically, the Reserve Bank of India established as a private bank in the 1935, and the Reserve Bank of India was nationalized in the 1949. In the 1st January 1949, the government made the nationalization of Reserve Bank of India. And in the 1949, a government passed a act called as a Banking Regulation Act. In the 1949, the government passed the Banking Regulation Act and offer a supreme authority to the Reserve Bank of India to cover, to regulate, to monitor, to inspect, to supervise the whole banking activities of Indian banking system. Then the next one part, that is there are some specialized institutions was established in the Indian banking system. The first one segment, that is industrial development banks. These banks are especially focused for the industrial development of the Indian economy, which means these banks offer a finance, they offer a financial assistance, or they grants loans and advances, or they subscribes their bills of exchange and discounts their financial instruments for the purpose of industrial development. For example, IDBI, that is Industrial Development Bank of India, then Industrial Finance Corporation of India, then Industrial Investment Bank of India, then Small Scale Industries Development Bank of India, okay, then National Small Scale Industries Development Corporation. These all banks are established for the purpose of industrial development. These banks offer long-term as well as short-term finance to the not only large-scale industries but also small-scale industries too. Micro and small-scale industries are also have a financial assistance from these industrial banks. Then the next one segment, which is agricultural development banks, means these banks, which is NABARD, in the 1982, according to the recommendation of B. Shivaraman Committee, the Reserve Bank of India established a NABARD for financing to the agriculture sector, for the development of agricultural sector, not only for the development of agriculture but also whole rural sector. Therefore, the NABARD itself contain the full form, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. It was established for not only agricultural development but also it focused on the rural development too. Then the next one bank, that is Exim Bank. Exim Bank itself contain the acronym, that is Import and Export Bank. In the 1982, for the benefits or financing to the international trade sector, the government had established that Exim Bank. Exim Bank offer a financial assistance, grants, loans and advances to the importers and exporters for the sound functioning of their international financial activities. Then housing banks like National Housing Bank or the HDFC are the banks which perform their functions in the housing sector. These whole banks are also regulated by the Reserve Bank of India. They have to perform their functions, they have to follow their modus operandi according to the guideline provided by the Reserve Bank of India. Then the next one part, that is investment institutions. There is again a next one segment, that is investment institutions. These investment institutions are LIC, like Life Insurance Corporation, GIC, General Insurance Corporation, and UTI, Unit Trust of India. These government and private investment institutions offer investment services to the investors. Those people have a plenty of fund with them, and those people are required these funds for the purpose of investment may avail if mediatory services from these investment institutions, which means investment institutions are worked as a intermediaries between savers and investors. They collect the small savings from the savers and offer these small savings to the investor for the purpose of investment, which means, but remember that these LIC, GIC and UTI also work according to the guideline of Reserve Bank of India. The RBI offer or RBI publishes different kind of guidelines for the smooth and sound functioning of these investment institutions. These investment institutions have also a great importance in the Indian banking system. Thank you.